What's up, guys? Today we are going to be discussing how to dominate Marvel Future Revolution as a free-to-play player. So let's get into it. All right, so today we're talking about dominating Marvel Future Revolution as a free-to-play player. Now you may be thinking, what are you talking about, Khasino? You're not a free-to-play player. What do you know? And while I am very, very passionate about championing the free-to-play player cause, and I always think that all games should be far, far, far more considerate of free-to-play players than they are, in this regard, I am not the foremost free-to-play player expert. But fortunately, I do have that person with me, and that is my good friend Kigerr. What's going on, man?
What's going on, guys?
I've been playing with Kigerr since the soft launch, and he welled out a bit on the soft launch server, but he's been showing people just how far you can get as a free-to-play player in Marvel Future Revolution, and it is probably a lot farther and a lot higher than you may think. Now, it's possible in large part because of a lot of the things that we learned on the soft launch server that haven't seemed to have kind of proliferated. Some of this stuff we thought was a bit more common sense than it was, and the information doesn't seem to be getting out there. I wanted to make this video, but it just right off the bat, if you had to give a 1 to 10 rating, how free-to-play friendly would you say Marvel Future Revolution is?
To get in the door, it's extremely free-to-play friendly, and even if you aren't very good at the game, your friends can help you accomplish a lot more than you think possible.
Yeah, teamwork is a huge part of it, and the other thing that I do want to mention is the discrepancy between free-to-play and pay-to-win players right now is really, really exaggerated, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you're willing to spend a lot, you can sprint pretty quickly to about 1 million power. We have a couple of people on our server already that are approaching about 1 million power in only about 2 weeks. But that's kind of misleading, because while there are free-to-play players who are like, what are you talking? I'm nowhere near 1 million. That's not even comparable. That pace is not maintainable at all. In fact, right around that 1 million, 1.1 million power, it starts to slow down a lot. And while the free-to-play players are still able to make a decent amount of progress and kind of catch up, the whales they don't get too much farther very quickly at all. So it's more exaggerated now than ever before, because the whales are kind of sprinting to a point where they're going to get kind of soft stuck and get caught up on anyway.
Yeah, I believe if you're able to put the effort into the game, even if they are several 100K above you, you can make that up with careful play.
Yep, and another thing that's really nice is if you're just thinking about like in a one-on-one, yeah, if someone's 1 million power and you're free to play, you're not going to beat them in a one-on-one. But the beauty of most of the game modes in this game are that you don't have to be able to take someone on one-on-one. So for example, even in Dimensional Duel, if you can win more matches than you lose, and you're willing to put in more time grinding the Dimensional Duel ladder, you can climb higher even if you can't beat as many players. So,
agreed.
I guess that's a good introduction. Where did you place in Dimensional Duel as a free-to-play in your first week?
On the first week, I ranked 4th. Could have got higher if I spent more time specifically on that, but I felt there's more things I have to focus on to give me a good bearing going into the beginning of the game.
Yep. So on that note, actually, I'll pull up. We have his rankings here. So in first week, you were rank 13 for Spec Ops, which is an interesting one because Spec Ops is, in my opinion, the most free-to-play friendly game mode that there is. So I'm guessing you just had better things to do than spend all day playing Spec Ops for a good score. But definitely, if there's any game mode free-to-play players can for sure get rank 1, that's definitely Spec Ops.
Yeah, just trying to specifically, the biggest thing holding you back as a free-to-play is your crystals per week. And so I focused on the game modes that gave crystals for payouts.
Yep, that's very fair. Battle Challenge, you were inside the top 10. That's really, really good. Omega War, you were in the top 10. And I think if there's any game mode in particular where you're going to be really hard-pressed to rank high as a free-to-play player, I think Omega War is going to be the toughest. Would you agree?
I agree. There were several. What's interesting is something you'll notice. I believe you're on Sakar, right?
Yeah.
So Sakar has Sakar 1 through 4, I believe. And the one that I'm on, Hydra, has 1 through 7. they match you against all of the 4 or 7
Yes.
in Omega War or Dimension Duel.
Yes.
So
But then,
at the end of it,
important distinction before I continue, your ranking, however, in Omega War is only against people on your server specifically.
correct. What I was trying to get at is that you'll go up against this million power player, never heard of them, go to search them up, and then it'll say cannot be found. What you can do is after the game, you can find their name and hit the magnifying glass and check them out, see how they're doing, and even get on Khasino's Discord or any other Discord, and who knows, make friends.
Yeah, you can definitely hop on our Discord and ask, hey, who's on this server, and see if you can get eyes on them. We had someone send me screenshots of someone from Sakar 4 the other day.
There you go.
And third in Dimensional Duel is really good, and third in Dark Zone. What I find really interesting is if we swap over to your week 2 rankings here. You placed second in Spec Ops, so that's a bit more true to the free-to-play experience, able to get really, really good rankings in Spec Ops. Still inside the top 10 for Battle Challenge, and that's another one where you can clearly do well in Battle Challenge, but if people are really determined to push higher than you, you'll experience some limitation as a free-to-play player in Battle Challenge, just because it's really, really tough. But placed 5th in Omega War, very impressive that you were able to improve your score there. Second in Dimensional Duel, and of course, most impressively, rank 1 in Dark Zone. That definitely takes some cooperation with your alliance, but even that can be done, so it pays to have friends. No doubt about that.
Yeah, we just ended up being more efficient than anybody else. I did better on the last hits as a Spider-Man. Everyone thinks a Widow does the best last hits. I was able to get all of mine with Spider-Man. So that's a good thing. Stepping back just a quick second on the Battle Challenge. Battle Challenge rubs me a little bit the wrong way just because everyone has different battle challenges.
Yeah.
So the week previously, I capped out at the 20th on of the 30 floors. This week, I capped out at 27.
Yeah, Battle Challenge, for those of you that don't know, every week you get different opponents. Each stage can have one of 5 different variations of opponents, and every player has different ones. So just as an example, your stage 5 might be Ulik, and someone else's stage 5 might be Magneto. So
yeah,
not only that, but the objectives change as well. So you might have to use 10 or fewer med kits where they have to not get guard broken, which is of course much easier. So yeah, Battle Challenge is a little unfair in that regard, but it's also kind of random. So in some ways, if you get a really good distribution of Battle Challenge, you might kind of get gifted a nice high ranking one week. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. But anyway, this is just kind of an early proof to show what can be accomplished as a free-to-play. But let's get into the tips. There's a lot of stuff that I want to cover. There's really 3 big things that we discussed beforehand, and I don't want this video to be an hour long, so we'll try to go through it quickly. But as far as the big 3 secrets to success as a free-to-play player, we discussed number 1, leveling alts. Number 2, we're going to talk a bit about how important specializations are, and number 3, we're going to talk a bit about how important enhanced potential is, and just some information you should definitely know about all those things. So, starting off, leveling alts, I feel as a free-to-play player, the best possible thing you can do is level alts. I think that is going to make far more of a difference than people realize. Would you agree?
Yeah, so the base stats it gives you is more than almost anything in the game that you can buy early on. And now that they made it so that you can't delete ults anymore, getting that out of the way seems pretty important.
Absolutely, and to add some credence to the stats that he's talking about, if you take all 7 alts to level 100, which you can absolutely do as a free-to-play player, and we'll get into about how much time that'll take on average, but if you get all 7 of your alts to level 100 as well, all of your characters are going to gain around 2,000 attack, 2,000 defense, and around 16,000 HP. And you're going to get that from titles, where you get additional stats, all 3 of those base stats, for every 10 character levels. For each character, you get a new title. And then what I've dubbed the SPUM, which is the squad power upgrade materials, which is the red, the blue, and the purple documents that raise those base stats again for your squad. So you're going to get a ton of stats from that. There's the squad training, which is going to feed you tons of rewards. You're going to get 3, 4, and 5-star pieces of gear, as well as 3, 4, and 5-star Omega cards. You're going to get tons of specialization materials. You're going to get a bunch of free crystals. You're going to get enhanced potential. You can carry over gear and Omega cards from those alts and use the storage to move them to your main and basically use them to craft up even stronger gear on your main characters. It is so much free power, and it doesn't actually take that long. It's not the most exhilarating.
What'd you call that stuff? Spuds?
Squad power upgrade materials.
All right, so that's kind of cool. Some quick thing on that that I've heard some people ask for the free-to-play stuff is how are you able to keep up with it? And to be honest, the real answer to that is you can't really, just based off of what stores they are and stuff. What I have done is I bought with in-game currency, the crystals, the level 30, level 40, and level 50 squad bundles. It scales up a little bit. After that point, I don't think it's really worth it, but I haven't needed any more spum since then.
That is an excellent tip. Yes. And what he's talking about is there's a limited time offer that triggers when you hit certain squad levels. So you said you got 10, 20, and 30?
30, 40, 50.
Okay, 30, 40, 50. Yep. And yeah, they're usually pretty good value. And so as for around how long it takes to level alts, if you're going at a pretty casual pace, it can take 1 to 2 days. But if you're trying to be really, really efficient, there's some things that you can do, like knowing which side quests align with the epic story quests. What I mean by that is some green quests, for example, will say, I'm just using an example, kill 20 troll rangers. And then if you have done it enough, which you'll get a feeling after your first couple of alts, if you make note of these things, you'll get a purple quest that'll say kill 25 troll rangers. You can make sure that you line up the purple and the green quests so that you're knocking out both. You
gotta talk about everyone's favorite, kill 30 mites, right? So you'll have the story quest, kill 30 mites, and then there will be 2 different side quests to kill 20 something mites that are in different spots of the map. So if you do it wrong, you're killing 90 mites.
Exactly. And so you can save a ton of time by doubling them up. And additionally, you can bring over badges and Omega cards. So if you're running those low-level blitzes, you might get like red drops on a level 20 or a level 30 badge on your main that you're like, I don't need this, I'm a level 100 character. But if you throw those in storage, that can really speed up the rate at which your alt can progress through that stuff. And eventually you'll just have like a set of badges and Omega cards set aside for these alts, and you can really speed it up. You were saying at your most efficient, you were able to knock it out in what, like 6-7 hours for an alt, 0 to 100?
About 7 hours solo and roughly 5 to 5.5 as a group. So something to give a little bit of numbers to what you were saying of when you swap the stuff over, I think even right now, 2 weeks in, if I make a fresh level 1 character, you can't add anything until you hit level 5. But once I put things on, I'm at about 150k.
Yeah, that's 150k in power that you can just give to them and they can hit the ground running. And when one AoE wipes out like 10 of the mobs that you're trying to attack for a quest, it saves you a ton of time. And then he also mentioned grouping, which a lot of people don't realize. One of the reasons why I always stress to new players, just invite people that are in the area doing the quest that you are, because for most quests, basically anything that's not a collect quest, you can get credit for someone else's kills. So for example, if me and Kigerr are both minding our own business, doing our own thing in Icy Peaks, and I get a mission to kill 20 troll rangers, I can throw an invite over to Kigerr, and I can be sitting off to the side picking my nose, and if Kigerr is beating up the troll rangers in my party, I am getting kill credit for that, and I can get to the point where I can turn in the quest and get a reward without even going over there. So of course, if
where's the troll hate coming from?
I don't know. But if I'm able to go over with him, we can do it in twice the time. And so if you're really efficient and you're doing this with some friends, you can have 4 people, and just every quest, you guys can just completely eliminate entire areas of maps very, very quickly. So
very true.
Alts. tons of free power. Don't leave it on the table. It's huge. It will get you a big advantage over people not willing to put in the work. Going on to point 2, which is the specializations. And specializations are huge. This one kind of boils down to find some friends, be nice to some whales, and see if you can get carried through some ultimate raids, because the rewards from the ultimate raids are amazing. As soon as you hit level 100, you can do them, and the rewards are just so much better than the extreme and challenge raids. And if you can get some high level specializations, your character will transform. Most characters have really, really impactful active traits in their specializations. So I think you managed to do this, again, as a free-to-play player. On day 1, you were able to clear all of your extreme and all of your challenge raids solo?
Correct. So while you only get one quote-unquote attempt a day without putting any kind of gems or anything into the game, you can still run it as many times as you want. And you can't do a raid until you finish the previous difficulty. I went into there knowing that I wanted to do the 3rd difficulty of the raids. So on day 1, I went through and cleared the first 2 of all the raids. So as you were saying, the rewards are great. To put that in perspective, if you do the one of the day, the highest you can get is 10, smallest Convergium, Shatter Convergium, and at Ultimate, you get 20, 8, and 3, which is worlds apart.
Yeah, it's so much more. And those purple ones and those orange ones are essentially worth 5 and 25 of those small ones, respectively. And so, again, just to clarify what he's saying, you can't do an ultimate raid until you've beaten the extreme difficulty of it, and you can't do an extreme raid until you've beaten the challenge difficulty of it. So what he's saying is, even though he wasn't getting rewards for it on day 1, he cleared as many as he possibly could, so that the very next day, when he had reward attempts, he could go into the highest level ones that he could do. And again, finding people who are willing to help you out and carry you through, if you just, nice to a few whales, and if you're like, I don't know any whales that'll help me, definitely join my Discord server, discord.gg/Khasino. We have some nice whales on every server who are more than happy to show off for the newer and free-to-play players, help them out, carry them through some ultimate raids. And yeah, as soon as you can start collecting those rewards, before you know it, you'll be able to solo ultimate raids. I mean, we're not even 2 weeks in. I assume you can solo an ultimate raid already?
Correct. Depending on the one, I currently only have an issue with Cole.
So yeah, as you can see, it doesn't take long before you don't need the handouts anymore. And again, if you can find people to help you with that, it makes a huge difference. And I don't want to spend too much time talking about specializations, but just to give you an idea of how much of an impact they can have, a couple of my favorite Captain Marvel specializations, she has one where as soon as she's been in combat for more than 6 seconds, she's gaining 20% attack, which, as you can imagine, is a very, very significant increase to her firepower. She's got another one where if she was normally going to die, she'll instead become invincible for a couple seconds and heal for 35% of her health bar. So that has saved me on a few different occasions, saves you crystals. It's a pretty sizable heal. So she's got a lot of stuff like that. Just functionally,
that's definitely pretty crazy. The last thing I want to say on the raids is, and especially with the grouping situation, is putting both of your first 2 tips together, leveling ults and doing the raids, is once you clear the main story, there's a quest to clear 2nd difficulty and 3rd difficulty of any raid that gives a 5-star core. My character is loaded out with 4 and 5-star cores.
Yes, I actually just did those on stream today, but yes, what he's saying is this, yeah, when you hit level 100, you'll have to do those raids anyway. And yeah, you can load up your main with really, really good cores, and cores are also really, really huge. They're a ton of stats. And then our third point here that we really want to stress is the enhanced potential. The enhanced potential is just worth a ton of raw stats. So to give you an example, if I were to max my Captain Marvel's enhanced potential, I'd be getting another 1,539 attack, 949 defense, 2,866 HP, almost 17% stamina recovery, about 12.5% defense pierce, and a little over 8% guard damage decrease. And so while she doesn't have the greatest selection of stats that she can enhance, still that is a very, very significant amount of stats. And so how far along are you in your enhanced potential right now, ballpark?
So with the first three, I have them at about 50 or 60%. Mainly cherry picking specific stats I want, hitting certain numbers I want to hit, and then ignoring everything else.
And to clarify, he's talking about the first three vertical sections. We often get asked a lot, like, what should I prioritize for my enhanced potential? Now, if you go the wrong way, so to speak, with their enhanced potential, it's really nothing to stress about, because sooner or later, eventually, you will get all of your enhanced potential. As for which stats you should be favoring, I always recommend favoring anything offensive, so anything attack, a crit rate, defense, pierce, crit damage, any of those things. But one important thing I want to note, this information I haven't really seen out there either, it is always safe, if you're not sure what to do, it is always totally fine to dump all of your enhanced potential materials into that top tier, which is always for every character attack, defense, and HP. And the reason I say that is you get so much more value. So I'm just going to give you the super short version, which is in the first section, it's 15 reports, 20 times, 286 attack. The value you get for one report in that first section, you're getting 0.95 attack for a single report. In the second and third sections, you get a bit less. They're pretty close to each other. The second section is 0.76 attack for one report, and the third is 0.74 attack for one report. And then you get the worst value in the bottom section, where you get only 0.66 attack for one report. So
in my mind, enhanced potential is mainly there to show you what your character wants to be doing.
Yeah.
I believe with your character, there's a lot of defense pierce going on.
Yep, stamina recovery.
And some other tanky stats.
Yep, stamina recovery.
Showing you what you want in your other things. I see it most as the game trying to guide you in what direction to go.
Yeah, and the game is not always right about that, but yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So yeah, if you're not sure what to do, I recommend leaning offensive, but you can't make a wrong choice, so to speak. And you're always getting better value spending in the higher tiers, so don't stress it. If you're not sure what to do, just find something offensive in one of the upper tiers and dump it in. And as far as good sources for enhanced potential, there's those weekly 500 crystal offers. You've been getting those?
Yes, I've been getting all three. Looking forward, I think I'm only going to be doing that for another week or two, and then that's going to save me crystals over the long period. My main source has actually, luckily, been from the convergence box.
Yeah, I was just going to get to that. So you can get enhanced potential from the convergence box, which is all sorts of stuff you can crush up to throw in there. You can get them from the dimension box, so you'll get some dimension box tickets from your battle challenge, and you might be able to get some enhanced potential from that. You can purchase it from the alliance shop weekly, so make sure you're in an alliance so that you have the opportunity to spend just a little bit of gold on enhanced potential. And then you can also spend 200 dimensional duel tokens to get enhanced potential. So of all the stuff in the dimensional duel shop, do you recommend going for the enhanced potential first as a free to play?
The enhanced potential, as well as what we were talking about before, this all kind of leads together, right? Yep. I think the enhanced potential is the first thing you're buying in the shop, line shop and the dimension duel shop, followed very closely by the anti-convergium for the actives.
Yep, for the specializations and for those actives. But so I think we've put enough into this video. It's gone on long enough. I'm sure you guys still have plenty of questions about certain minutiae of the free-to-play experience, and for that, I want to point you to my friend, and I'm going to go out and say the current best free-to-play player in Marvel Future Revolution, and that's Kigerr. You can check him out on twitch.tv/Kigerr. He's also on youtube.com/Kigerr. Do you have a regular streaming schedule at the moment?
Things are going real crazy at work because of, even though COVID's mostly over, the resurgence made it kind of weird at work. I'm going to be trying to get a more set time, and once I have that, I'll drop that on a YouTube video.
Yep, and he also hangs out pretty regularly on my Discord server, so you can always hop on my Discord server and just at him and ask him any questions. That's discord.gg/Khasino, and anyone can join. But yeah, this video has gone on long enough, but I think a lot of people think that this game's kind of hopeless for free-to-play players, and I love the work that you're doing, Kigerr, and showing people that is absolutely not the case. With the right discipline and the right knowledge, you can do quite a bit as a free-to-play player. And
thank you.
So yeah, definitely go check him out. But on that note, that is all I've got for you guys today. So any other questions, comments, concerns you guys have, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you guys very much for checking out this video. Kigerr says peace. And yeah, I'll see you guys real soon. Till next time.